What up, Camille Sport Dash 20 Mary Lee? It is 7:17 a.m. in my city, Chicago, going all the way to 7:21. So for Sunday, May 3rd, 2026, 100% on my phone. All facts. I know you don't care, but I'm gonna tell you anyway. Long story short, went to live with my sister, Linda Nelson, and her four daughters, my so-called nieces. And at the age of 17 in 1984. And I also, gave up with my childhood blues rap at the age of 17 in 1984. Long story short, I wanted to learn how to drive, right? And my oldest niece, Rudy, she was the only one that, had a car or whatever. So I had asked the neighbor next door, Andre, his mother worked for CTA, if Andre, he was always working on his car. And I asked him, I said, if I, learn how to, you know, take the test or whatever, study for the test, will you take me, to get my license? Now, I never went to driver's ed or nothing like that. I had a couple of incidents at foster homes where I take the keys off the table and, you know, practice. Had a couple of accidents with an oak tree, walked away without a scratch. Long story short, my oldest niece, keys was on the table, and I took them off to make sure that I didn't crash Andre's car, because he said, yeah, he'll take me if I, study for the test, just let him know. And he was always, like I said, working on his trap car or whatever and stuff. And, the day came and I was happy and I was like, Andre, I'm ready, and he was like, I'm not going to be able to take you because my car is not working. I was like, oh, man. And then he was like, psych, and he flashed the keys to a brand new Cadillac. His mother, like I said, worked for CTA, and she had just bought a brand new Cadillac. And in the 80s, that was a, long Cadillac, right? But I was confident, right? I ain't suffer from low self-esteem. So I said, like, let's go, right? And, I, went to the DMV, and I was, like, nigga in the scene with a gangster lane, for real, for real. I'm telling you a true story. And I was, driving with one hand, and the driving instructor was like, if you keep driving with one hand, I'm a flunk you. And of course, I was 3 o'clock, you know what I mean? And I passed, and I gave Andre $20 for the gas or whatever and stuff. And I was happy, got my license. Long story short, my dream truck is a T-top, drop-top Cadillac truck. I'm not going to renew my license because, the last time I renewed my license was in 2008, and 6 days later, I was locked up, real talk. And I had got 100 on that test. The lady even pointed it out. I studied while I was waiting for them to call me. Real talk. I said all that to say, all dreams don't come true, right? It was fun while it lasted. This the 10, my city, Chicago. 10 city. I did too much for you. This the 9. I don't feel the love. And this is the 11. And that's why I'm number one twice. 721. Step your game up, peace.